Yo, what's good? Stu here, Stu TV. I cover all things blockchain, metaverse, crypto, NFTs, all that good stuff. Coming back at you with another beginner series. And in today's video, just going to be covering smart contracts. Specifically just cross-chain smart contracts to just give you some different functions, some features, some analogies that kind of more simplify this information in the space, how they work, just different components, just things that you would like to know about them. But let's get into it. What are smart contracts on the blockchain and how do they work? What is a smart contract? A smart contract is a self-executing program that automates the actions required in a blockchain transaction. Once completed, the transactions are trackable and reversible. The best way to envision a smart contract is to think of a vending machine. When you insert the correct amount of money and push an item's button, the smart contract activates the machine to dispense your chosen items. Smart contracts permit trusted transactions and agreements to be carried out anonymous parties without the need for central authority, legal system, or external enforcement mechanism. While blockchain technology has come to be thought primarily as the foundation for Bitcoin, it has evolved far beyond underpinning a virtual currency. So even just breaking that just a little bit down, a smart contract basically is an automated list, generated sequence list of instructions. And anytime this list of instructions happens, then the smart contract will get executed anytime it is triggered or recognized. So being able to see that within a particular platform and ecosystem, we can actually just show a different example right here. So it just shows the actual vending machine, and depending on what number that you push, if you push F9, then you'll get the orange juice. If you push E8, then you'll get this bag of chips. So depending on what you push, it already automatically triggers in that said machine to give you that said product that you asking for based on what you push in representation, when the machine computed a response back essentially to you just based on what you particularly ordered in your particular option. Analogy on how smart contracts work is just an automated list of sequence and directions based on what that user wants anytime that transaction gets triggered or recognized. But let's keep reading into this article. Smart contracts are scripts that automate the actions between two parties. Smart contracts do not contain legal language terms or agreements, only code that executes actions when specific conditions are met. Nick Szabo, an American computer scientist who computerized a virtual currency called BitGold in 1998, defined smart contracts as computerized transaction protocols that execute the terms of a smart contract. Smart contracts is somewhat of a misnomer. These programs are neither smart nor a contract. So it just shows just a lot of the history throughout smart contracts, how much different mechanisms work, and that'll show you how different transactions go, what is the method, what is the reach of that transactions, can it communicate with different networks. So there's so many different ways on how smart contracts could be leveraged depending on how you want to push that particular method of technology out. So it's just one to pay attention to as we just go forward. But let's go to the smart contract uses. Before smart contracts execute agreements, they can be used for many different purposes. One of the simplest users is ensuring transactions between two parties, such as the purchase of delivery goods. For example, a manufacturer needing raw materials can set up payments using smart contracts, and the supplier can set up shipments. Depending on the agreement between the two businesses, the funds can be transferred automatically to the supplier upon shipment or delivery. So it just has like different uses. So you can use it for real estate transactions, stock and commodity, trade lending, corporate governance, supply chain, dispute resolution, healthcare. Only a few examples where smart contracts are theorized to have use. So it's just whatever particular industry you're in, you can set up a smart contract to where it automates a sequence list of different instructions anytime that person that's on the opposite end, which you're agreeing to within that smart contract, will get triggered. This could be good for endorsement deals, sports athletes, entertainment contracts. Being able to have a smart contract compute all that and be able to be transparent on both sides to where they can agree, that will lessen disputes, that will lessen the confusion, because obviously we know that people can actually go in and change what they want if you buy a particular car or a vehicle. So there's many uses for smart contracts and being able to execute on that platform method. Let's look into some smart contract pros. The primary benefit of smart contracts is similar to the benefit of blockchain technology. They remove the need for third parties. Other benefits of the technology is efficiency. They speed up contract contract execution. There can be no human error introduced. The programming cannot be altered. So important things to really cover as we get more deeper into smart contracts, because you can have single or traditional smart contracts that execute on one particular chain, but the efficiency and cross-chain perspective and being able to connect and interact with multiple chains, that increases the efficiency of the network, and it just allows more liquidity to actually flow in. And then also you have the accuracy. The accuracy is important when it comes to these smart contracts, because that is going to increase the user base, errors and different things. And they had to come out with a version 2. There's a lot of different that's kind of in question with this current state of the technology. So the accuracy within these different smart contracts in the process to be able to execute that. And then also you want to just look at immutability, to where the programming, if somebody makes a deal and let's just say a smart contract is designed for these two people, well, somebody can't come in and change their mind after that smart contract has already been coded in and immuted. So either a new smart contract would have to be added to the process to further get parties to agree, but that original contract is designed not to be immutable for no human error to come in and interfere. And some of the downfalls of smart contracts are permanent. They cannot be changed, like I mentioned before. Human factor, they rely on the programmer to ensure the code is programmed properly, execute the intended actions. That's why you see a lot of people in tech or different parts of coders and developers, depending on what chain, how many chains and languages they know how to code in, getting with coders. That's a very valuable skill, because a lot of people in today's industry, that is a skill that a lot of people are very sought after in a direction that you can go into, not financial advice. Allowing for smart contracts to be executed in bad faith. Just with this, just to give you a general overview, not every smart contract is good. You have to make sure you have audits and, check your white paper, know what you're reading, know what you're looking up. But that's the point of this beginner series, is to help give you a jump start and just help you navigate throughout the ecosystem and not fall for any different human errors or loopholes as you're going forward in the space. So what is an example of a smart contract? The simplest example of a smart contract is a transaction between a consumer and a business where the sale is made. The smart contract can execute the customer's payment and initiate the business shipment process. What is the point of a smart contract? The purpose of a smart contract is to further remove the need for trusted third parties to conduct actions between parties that do not trust each other. So that's the same as you can compare when you go into a line at Walmart. Some people want to get checked out by a person and have them scan their items, and then other people are saying, no, I can check out my own and be able to interact with this machine. So it is that particular instance and dynamic. People are just now saying, no, I want the smart contract to handle it, and then if we have any issues to dispute, we could look over what's actually in transparency and not you just telling me and me taking your word for it. What are 4 major parts of a smart contract? It depends on the blockchain and how it's programmed. Generally speaking, smart contracts have state variable data, functions, and what can be done, events, messages in and out, modifiers. Some have additional elements depending on what they're designed to do. Bottom line, smart contracts are written into blockchain that executes the transactions between 2 parties agreeing on the outside chain. By automating these actions, the need for a intermediary or trust between parties are removed. So this just allows people to move more fluid. They can actually just go upon the terms and agreements and they say, hey, if you send 0.5 ETH, then we're going to send you 5,000 tokens. Well, as long as that's automated in the smart contract for both parties to see, both parties can now move with that process. They send the 0.5 ETH, the 5,000 tokens come to their wallet. There's no disputes. There's no, well, you said this, you said that. When is it on the way? Everything is just handled in that particular smart contract. Well, let's go on to the next article. Introduction to smart contracts. So we're going to read a bit of this, then I'm going to get into some cross-chain smart contracts. I'm going to get into some cross-chain smart contracts, and then also we can cover Ethereum, which is more on a traditional smart contract, being able to interact with the networks, but also build on top of this platform, blockchain, and ecosystem. A smart contract is simply a program that runs on Ethereum and blockchain. It's a collection of code and data that resides at a specific address on Ethereum blockchain. Smart contracts are a type of Ethereum account This means they have a balance that can be target of transactions, however, they're not controlled by a user. Instead, they're deployed to the network to run this program. Users' accounts can then interact with the smart contract by submitting transactions that execute a function defined on the smart contract. Smart contracts can define rules like regular contract, automatically enforce them via code. Smart contracts cannot be defaulted, and interactions with them are reversible. So it just goes back with the same thing with the vending machine. We can go back over it. You just have the different item. If I push D7, then I'm gonna get this turkey sandwich. If I push D7 I'll push, I pay the particular money, and then it comes out of that machine, and then you get your sandwich, your bag of chips, your drink. So it just shows perhaps the best metaphor for a smart contract is a vending machine. To get a snack from a vending machine, money plus snack equals snack dispense. So the logic is programmed into the vending machine. A smart contract, like a vending machine, has logic programmed into it. Here's a simple example of how this vending machine would look if a smart contract was written in Solidity. So that's a language that just shows how it be coded. So I ain't gonna sit up here and pretend like I know the coding language. I know just different ones. I know Cardano with Plutus, then you have Solidity, and there's a lot of other ones, but not a coder myself, but I do hear the language. Anyone can write smart contracts and deploy it to the network. You just need to learn how to code in the smart contract language. And if you have enough ETH to deploy your contract, deploying a smart contract is technically a transaction. So you need to pay gas in the same way you pay gas for a simple ETH transfer. However, gas costs to play are far higher. Ethereum has developer-friendly languages for writing smart contracts, Solidity, Viper, and they have even more languages. So it has composability, multi-sig contracts. Multi-sig contracts are contract accounts that require multiple valid signatures to execute a transaction. This is very useful for avoiding points of failure for contracts holding substantial amounts of either or tokens. Multi-sig also divides responsibility for contract execution and key management between multiple parties to prevent the loss of a single private key, leading to irreversible loss of funds. For those reasons, multi-sig contracts can be used for simple DAO governments. Multi-sig requires signatures out of M possible accept signatures, where M and N, so I'm not going to sit up here and read all this. 4 out of 7 requires 4 out of 7 possible valid signatures. This means the funds are still retrievable even though the 3 signatures are lost. In this case, it also means the majority of the key holders must agree and sign in order for the contract to execute. So even breaking down multi-sigs would be great if you're in a group and you want to go in on this token and you want to get a metaverse. Well, you have a multi-sig wallet that everybody computed in that multi-sig contract will also have to sign off or agree, or have the majority agree to be able to make that purchase and transaction. And without the majority of signatures reached, then the smart contract, no matter if somebody votes on that particular multi-sig, it takes the rest of those variables of those other people to vote for that transaction to go through. So that's just something with smart contracts and their uses. So it's just a lot when it comes to permissionless and even limitations, a lot that goes in with smart contracts. But this is just the basic, give you a basic overview of just how things look as we go in the ecosystem. Let's go over to our next part of the video and just show you some examples. So just coming up here with PolkaDot, the block space ecosystem for boundless innovation. Get your Web3 ideas to market fast with economics that work for you. True interoperability enables cross-blockchain transfers of any type of data or asset, not just tokens. Connecting to PolkaDot gives you the ability with a wide variety of blockchains within the PolkaDot network. Economic transaction scalability provides unprecedented economic scalability by enabling common set of validators to secure multiple blockchains. Easy blockchain innovation. Create a custom blockchain in minutes using a substrate framework. Connect your chain to PolkaDot and get interoperability and security from day one. High energy, efficient security from everyone. So we could click on discovery, so you can explore and just learn, and we could just talk about the different pair chains. So Web3 and PolkaDot. Back in the early 2000s, the internet featured read-only static basic web pages. The online connected at the time was the only beginning of virtual data, identities, and more. The internet during this time could be viewed as version 1, Web 1. As social media platforms and online businesses began to emerge, the internet transformed into its next iteration, the Web 2. This upgraded internet, which we use today, features dynamic interactive web pages where users can read and write information, publish their own for others to see. However, this version with the web comes with downsides, dealing with data control, privacy issues, and consequences of trusting centralized entities that store our data on their servers. This is where Web3 comes into the picture. Web3 is transforming applications hosted on this centralized infrastructure into decentralized applications, dApps, powered by trust-free blockchain protocols. The goal is to transform the internet into a decentralized web where users control their data and identify an identity in a trust-free environment. The Web3 aims to remove the intermediaries and build a trustless infrastructure. Web3 is an interactive and collective web where users can read and write and own their own data. So they have different data ownerships, a trustless environment, decentralization. So it just shows how all these different smart contracts on PolkaDot are designed through these pair chains to interact with all these different ecosystems, like a giant highway connected with intersection highways and interacting with particular chains. But let's read on with interoperability. The Web3 landscape expansion into a multi-layered ecosystem highlights the need for interoperability. Blockchains compete and differentiate themselves based on decentralization, throughput, and specific use case focus. Some aim for high single performance based blockchain, while others focus on decentralization through layer 2 networks. Various cross-chain interactions are employed to achieve interoperability, including token swaps, bridges, native contracts, native payments, contract calls, and programmable token bridges. Each mechanism serves specific functions such as facilitating the exchange of tokens between blockchains, enabling smart contract interactions across chains, like I mentioned before. Other interoperability solutions validate the source of the blockchain. Different videos, so you can just see the past events, shows all the different stuff that's going on within the PolkaDot ecosystem, but it shows accounts. What is PolkaDot? PolkaDot is a first layer blockchain that shares security and secured interoperability to layer 1 blockchains. Those layer 1 blockchains attached to PolkaDot are also called parachains, as their transactions are processed in parallel by PolkaDot. For more information, PolkaDot has an on-chain open governance to orchestrate decisions, including accessible funds. The dot gives you power to participate. The level of extraction and generalization of PolkaDot allows to build applications to their specific use cases, and for those applications to communicate serially, leveraging each other's proposition. So it just has this pair chains where it's connected with all these different other blockchains and allow these different networks to communicate with each other with that process. But it shows the actual token and dot that what you will get, what you can use with your PolkaDot, where to start earning. So there's a lot of good things that's going on with this article that you could be able to read and be able to explore. Different accounts, staking, proxy, identity. But I want to get super deep. Like I said, it's a general overview. You can definitely feel free to look on this and have any questions, drop a like, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also join my Discord and we can answer your questions there. But going on to the next one, Chainlink, link to the world, the universal platform for the future global markets on chain. So you just have Developer Hub. Chainlink is a centralized computing platform powering the verifiable web. So move data values between existing systems in any public and private blockchain. Leverage high frequency and data to power the next generation of DeFi markets. Verify cross-chain and off-chain asset reserves backing tokenized and wrap assets. Connect the smart contract to any API and run a custom Web3 computation in minutes, automation, and VRF. So it just shows being able to have mastering cross-chain. It has a smart contract overview. Let's actually just read into this. Welcome to the Smart Contract Getting Started Guide. This overview explains the basic concepts of smart contract development and Oracle networks. So let's actually read this, scroll down. What is a smart contract? What is a hybrid smart contract? When deployed to a blockchain, the smart contract is a set of instructions that can be executed without the intervention from third parties. The smart contract code defines how it responds to input, just like the code of any other computer program. A valuable feature of smart contracts is they can store and manage on-chain assets like ETH and ERC20 tokens, just like with an Ethereum wallet. Because they have an on-chain address like a wallet, they can receive anything. They can do everything any other address can. This enables you to program automated actions when receiving, transferring assets. Smart contracts can connect to the real world prices of assets to produce powerful applications. Securely connecting smart contracts with all-chain data and services is what makes them hybrid smart contracts. This is done using oracles. What language is a smart contract written in? So we kind of went over this before. For writing smart contracts on Ethereum, EVM chains of Solidity, it is created by the Ethereum Foundation specifically for smart contract development. It is constantly updated. Other languages exist for smart contracts on Ethereum and EVM chains, but Solidity is the language used for Chainlink smart contracts. If you ever written JavaScript, Java, or object-oriented scripting languages, Solidity should be easy to understand. Some networks are not EVM compatible and use languages other than Solidity for smart contracts. Solana. So Solana is just with Rust. That shows what the Solidity versions look like. It just shows you the different interfaces. So let's actually scroll down to here. This is a really important part. Oracles provide a bridge between real world and on-chain smart contracts by being a source of data that smart contracts can rely and act upon. Oracles play a critical role in facilitating full potential of smart contract utility. Without a reliable connection to real world conditions, smart contracts cannot effectively serve the real world. That's really important when it comes to highlighting the smart contracts on Chainlink, because Chainlink allows for the smart contracts to interact with offline or real world assets or offline data. So things that's not going to be stored on your computer or on your drive or just in your Google files, things that's actually from an offline perspective, and being able to get interactions with real products in real time, one, will increase the utility of these different functions, and then also allow for more innovation and adoption for more new industries to come in once they realize they can use this tech to connect with actual physical products in the real world. How do smart contracts use oracles? Oracles are the most popularly used data feeds. DeFi platforms like Aave Synthetic use Chainlink's data feed oracles to obtain accurate real-time asset prices in their smart contracts. Chainlink data feed sources of data aggregated from many independent Chainlink node operators. Each data feed has an on-chain address and functions that enable smart contracts to read from that address, for example. So it just shows these are all the assets to be able to connect on that EVM compatible within these different ecosystems, but allowing you to get access to that real world access data through that smart contract, and just showing a graph of that and just showing a picture and the image of that. Smart contracts also use oracles to get capabilities on chain to generate verifiable random numbers, use VRF to consume randomness in your smart contracts. You get API. So it's just a lot to go over when it comes to Chainlink. But Chainlink is one to where you're going to be able to pair offline assets, be able to pair real world assets. So think about how many industries are going to be able to adopt and use this particular technology, and how much is really going to open up for new industries to come in. So that's also another one to pay attention to. And my last one I want to get is Cosmos. Build on the interchain, reduce cost, scale effortlessly, and make your business come alive. Hundreds of companies use Cosmos SDK to build fast, secure blockchain applications. So you can be able to start building blockchains that scale. Build an app chain that scales at the fraction of the cost of platform chains while inheriting built-in security, apparent architecture served by Cosmos Hub. So it has the IBC protocol, interchain standard for building ape chains, connect ecosystems through the IBC. So let's look into the IBC, inter-blockchain communication protocol, securely exchange data and value tokens across the blockchain, creating the interoperability in the internet of blockchains. The inter-blockchain communication protocol is an open source protocol to handle authentication and transport of data between blockchains. IBC allows heterogeneous chains to trustless communicate with each other to exchange data, messages, and tokens. It's scalable. Cross-chain communication enables increased seamless scalability. Billions of transactions executed using the IBC. IBC reduces costs. Confirmation finality issues between Pacific app chains is interoperable. So you guys see all these different smart contracts interacting with this inter-blockchain communication protocol, and then from there just being able to connect. So it's just almost as like like you have a network from a different phone and somebody says they have a different user or they're using a different service provider, yet you can still communicate on your phone, yet you can still call that person, you can still reach out. So these are how these blockchains communicate on these different lists of networks, and also have a central hub. But out of the box, navigate, integrate with chains built on Cosmos SDK and built on specs. So you'll be able to natively bridge tokens, messaging, accounts. So it just shows all that's what's going to show in coding. So you trust the chains. With IBC, trust the chains you are already used instead of a vulnerable third party. Easy direct implementation with IBC is secure, even environments where layers could be faulty or malicious. So you can see there's different transactions. It goes a lot with the Cosmos ecosystem, but it's a common BFT. Is a best-in-class proof-of-stake consistent modern climate solution for SDK chains. Cosmos Wrap. Let's read into this. Smart contracts. A modern smart contract developer workflow provides the power and performance in native of Cosmos SDK modules with simpler developer experience. Unit tests, integration tests, and full back traces are first-class citizens as Cosmos War. Smart contract upgrades are dead simple with Cosmos War built-in permission per contract migrate function. So it shows this, you create a bonding curve. So this is even a little bit above me and all these different languages, components, how these different coding goes in. But it just shows like how you can create a bonding curve, many different forms and complexities, all cross-chain contracts. So it just shows how much you can actually participate and use this particular technology and get into this ever-growing ecosystem. But it's a lot to go over with Cosmos. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I know every single thing in and out. It's a lot to cover, guys, with this beginner ecosystem. So just like I said, it's more of a general overview, understand the functionalities and how the space is evolving. But smart contracts done smarter. The simplicity of smart contracts meets the power of the interchain stack, creating powerful economic primitives that aggregate functionality across multiple ecosystems. Neutron is a secure, simple, and cross-chain integrated smart contract platform to bring your interchain applications to the market. So you build trusted automation, verifications, and more into your smart contract routine. Speed up development with trusted Rust libraries, composable to WASM and deploy. So it just shows all the IBM articles. You can have interchain security, IBC protocol, interchain accounts. So it's allowed for all these different networks to be able to communicate with each other and then build on this top of existing tech where just things are going to be seamless. But Cosmos is definitely one that's been around. Make sure you pay attention to those. I'll drop those links in the description, but make sure you like, subscribe, comment. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you have to rewind any parts, if you just want any further breakdowns or just like that, make sure you just drop comments below and I will see you in the next one.
All right, guys, see that you came to the end of this video. So just want to do a quick summary and recap of just what was talked about in today's video. Just covering cross-chain smart contracts, just the different components. I know we covered traditional smart contracts with Ethereum, and then we got into some cross-chain in terms of PolkaDot, Chainlink, Cosmos. So they have just many different functions on how they're built out and interact with the different network, and a unique, I guess you could say, selling proposition on how they want to, and they see how all these blockchains, internet connectivity, and how they want to flow throughout the ecosystem. So it's up to interpretation. There's so many different layers that need to be built out on top of the tech, and there's so many different variables that I obviously don't expect you to get it all in one video. But what's actually going to motivate you to get into smart contracts, cross-chain smart contracts? Well, the first thing I would say is innovation or opportunity. Just being able to have this technology, and not only that, but then when you pair it with real-world assets like a Chainlink or use that Oracle network platform, that'll allow you to connect with so many different industries, whether in food, healthcare, being able to pair off-chain assets. So that allows you innovation and be able to present opportunities just by leveraging and even knowing this information, depending on how you use it and what way. Next thing I'll get into is just having career opportunities and advanced growth. If you know just smart contracts, then you'll know that's one of the most sought after positions in the Web3 industry in terms of being able to code in so many different languages. That even makes you twice or 3 times as valuable just because you know how to code in Solidity, you know how to code in Viper, you know how to code in Plutus, or just many different languages. So being able to have that or understand the language of that said chain and being able to refer, have some type of middleman or Fiverr type business, not financial advice, but there's many different ways for growth and paths. And then also you just be able to connect with people in the community, just continue to build your network along with people, and it just allows for just more opportunities and growth as you move forward in the ecosystem. But yeah, that's just a wrap up for today. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, make sure you share the video. I'll see you in the next one.